Hello, friends. This is Carrie White, and you are listening to the Misconceptions podcast.
I'm so heartbroken. I mean, this poor kid, this Nick, he was just a normal kid. He was just like one of us. Or maybe even more normal than us. And they tortured him, and they made him this, and he can't even comprehend that Marcus is gone. I don't know how we're gonna get out of this. And I don't know how we're gonna get him out of this. Maybe we can fix him somehow, or maybe he's stuck like this forever. We've got to figure out a way out.
Previously on Misconceptions, the crew was enlisted by an old comrade, or rather not comrade, an acquaintance called Pedro, to investigate someone who had been stalking him. They did not find out who was stalking him, and then they were called to the morgue to investigate a break-in that apparently Pedro's stalker was involved in. But they followed the clues to Promethean University, where a Marcus Malcolm used to work as a GA. The crew knew him as a aspiring drug lord who talked about a holy war that someone named Dr. Jacoby was planning. But following the clues, they went back to Marcus Malcolm's grandmother's house. Upon entering, they found some chemistry sets in the kitchen. They found just a dark house, seemingly abandoned, and as they investigated, a huge hulking figure came out of the shadows. And after talking to this dark, shadowy figure, they figured out that this was the person or creature that had been stalking Pedro, and now had the dead and decaying body of Marcus Malcolm. Nick talked about Malcolm being a friend. He talked about a master. He talked about he talked about being changed. He wasn't always like this monster. But as they were talking, more monsters arrived, and as the big, nasty, alligator-looking dude came through, Esther pulled out her gun, or rather, she did not have her gun put away, so she just grabbed her gun and took a shot at this creature. So, Esther, we pick up with you pointing your gun at this huge, like I described him, he has this massive frame, even bigger than Nick in the dining room, covered in scales, but there is this hyena fur pattern that goes from the bridge of his nose back along his scalp, down his shoulders, and he has like this hog face with these two tusks jutting up, kind of like a warthog face, I guess. But the rest of his body is like this just crocodile body. And it sneered at you and hissed at you, and then you took a shot. So, what are you adding to this hit with all you've got?
The rest entrusted Colt Cobra, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it would make sense, but maybe using Inspire Calm to like keep everybody else calm in the situation. I don't think that would.
I would say that needed to be a change the game roll. You could use your help points, like if you wanted to give everybody else like a helpful status somehow. Before you took the shot.
No, I don't think that's what I want to do.
Okay.
Could I use Daddy's Fighter? In that, like, I'm not like shaking, like I'm confident in my abilities.
Sure. So it's a +2.
And then it's still a -3.
Mm-hmm. So with a -1. Well, what do you think?
I don't.
What's
I
your
don't
what's your
really know.
injuries?
Well, I don't know because I just have injured, and I didn't put an explanation like I normally do.
Okay.
What
Well,
happened?
The car door fell on me, and
yeah.
it was on
When
fire.
it exploded, like the car door exploded,
So like I
and hit her and
understood
carried
when
her back.
I understood earlier because I was like having to move quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But like here, like my gun was already out and stuff, so I don't see it having as much of an effect.
Sure.
But if you want me to use it, I'll use. I mean,
No, I
I'm
think-
not meaning. I don't mean that like.
Yeah, I would agree. You already had your gun pulled out, and you were pointing it at
So I
one of the other
basically was
creatures.
just turning to this
yeah,
guy.
and then
so
you're
like,
just like, oh, I'll shoot that guy instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead, roll without the -3, so a +2 to your hit with all you've got.
9.
Oh, -1, so it's 8, but you still hit.
I guess I want to secure a superior position
Okay.
because he's like right up on me,
Okay.
and I don't really want to die.
Okay. So you point your gun at him, pull the hammer back, and you fire. The bullet hits his scaled chest and just ricochets into the roof. As he goes to swing at you, he like turns around and this tail, it whips out almost as long as you are tall and lashes out at you. How do you avoid? Like, what is your superior position?
Basically, I was wanting to just like jump back into the kitchen, but also get like up on a counter or something.
Okay, so you jump back right as this tail whooshes through the air right where you were. You jump up on a counter, scattering some of the glass things to the floor. The three of you that are in the kitchen, you hear this hiss and snarl and whoosh of air as Esther jumps back in the kitchen and jumps onto the countertop. And you heard the breaking glass and things from the living room, and you hear like these low growls and hisses, like I said. What do y'all do? And Nick has clutched Marcus's body closer to him, and he's like trying to huddle himself into the corner.
Nick, leave and meet us in the alley behind Morty's bar. We'll be there as soon as we can.
Ren advances forward to Esther's position.
This hallway, or the kitchen, is like 10 or 15 feet long.
Yeah.
If you wanted to advance to Esther's position, you would take like a few steps.
Okay.
She's up on the counter, and there's a doorway, so she's like up on the counter, up against the wall, and then there's that open doorway going into the living room. Mm-hmm. Basically, the only way out of here is either out the bay windows in the dining nook or through the doorway into the living room.
Yeah.
There's no looky-loos or windows that look from the kitchen to the living room. This is not a well-designed kitchen.
I guess, so here's what I want to do. I want to blow the light bulbs. I know that the electricity doesn't work in the, like I know that at least when Tessa tried to turn on the light bulb, or like turn on the lights in the hallway or whatever in the house, it didn't work. Uh-huh. But I want to like blow the light bulbs in the living room where they're at to like blind them or like give them like a -1 card or something like that.
Okay. I would say that you could roll a change the game to create like a
create like a
exploding
story.
light bulb story tag.
Yeah,
yeah, that somebody could
kinda what
apply.
I'm going for.
Okay. So what would you add to your change the game?
I'm thinking technopathy, machine possession. Well, technopathy and everything is binary, maybe.
Yeah, I would say technopathy and everything is binary.
Yeah.
Sure.
That is 10.
A 10. So on a 10 plus, you get a minimum of 2 juice.
Yeah, so we're already creating a story tag. So like I'm choosing one to create a story tag, right? So that's one of the list.
Mm-hmm. So you want to create a story tag, yes.
Yeah, and then I want to scale up the effect.
So with a story tag, a story tag is a static like 1. You can't make it 2 or anything. I don't think.
Okay.
You could make it ongoing, so that through the rest of this scene, people can apply that one, that like bulb shock whatever, to all their rolls if they wish.
Yeah, so let's make it ongoing then, prolong the effect.
Okay. So go ahead and take one of those and put a story tag of and what do you want to call it?
Exploding bulbs.
Okay, exploding bulbs 1. And so Rin, you focus on the electrical network of this house. It's not necessarily dead. It just had the electricity cut off because nobody's paid the bill for 3 months. But using your powers, you connect to the electrical mainframe. You can almost see the wiring with your mind's eye, or rather your mind's computer eye. And you focus on the bulbs, and you connect to them. And so you have control of these bulbs. So as the fight goes on, you can like detonate it in a certain area as people are fighting. So you can like shatter this bulb as Bill is punching this guy, which it would just be Bill is adding this, but you have like connected to it, and that will explain how the bulbs keep detonating whenever people are fighting. So you have that.
Awesome.
Okay. What's everybody else doing?
Did tail swing guy move into the room, or like is he in the doorway?
So he like swung his tail, and yeah, like the beast men are like creeping up on the kitchen, like the crow woman is like craning her head, and it's like unnatural how her neck moves, kind of like a bird moves, but she's a human, and so she's like ticking her head back and forth as she like waddles up to the doorway into the kitchen. And remember, everything is very dark and shadowy, so it's even more spooky, creepy.
I'm going to make my tower shield in like a cudgel or whatever, just a blunt object, and cram up the doorway and aim for whatever the nearest head is. Not the body. Not going to hit them in the armored plates. I'm going to hit them in the head.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. No. I guess this would be a go toe-to-toe.
Okay.
And you will take a -1 to your roll.
Why?
They have an alert 1 status. Each one of them has
take
it.
a -0.
What if I
because
distract
of the exploding
them?
bulbs?
What if I make like a miner's helmet, put my flashlight in it, and turn it on strobe mode? So it's like,
Roll it, change the game.
but that would take a different action. I wouldn't be able to attack if I did that. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. You said go toe to toe. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna swing it. I guess the
crow woman is like the closest. Yeah. So you rush forward. You have your tower shield. You have your cudgel, and you're swinging for her
Man,
head.
I wish she was a raven so I could hit her with the Poe pun. Oh well. All right, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna run up to her and hit her. But you're gonna explode the light bulb.
Yep.
What is? They weren't on anyway, right?
No.
So
it would just be like a shower of glass just falling down on her.
Cool. Okay. So I will use basic tattoo weapons, blunt force trauma, maybe risk taker or no?
This definitely feels like a risky move.
Because the gamble is I cram up the doorway
so
that they can't get past me.
So you're like sacrificing yourself.
I'm not
to protect.
sacrificing myself.
Well, you're putting yourself in harm's way.
Like, no.
I'm strategizing.
So that nobody can get into the kitchen.
Right. But
Okay.
the risk, the payoff is they can't get through the doorway.
Okay.
The thing that would suck is if they do, and then I'm just like pincered.
Okay. So basic tattoo weapons, risk taker,
Blunt force trauma.
blunt force trauma.
3.
Okay. Go toe to toe with +3. And you got a +1 for the bulbs,
So that
and you got
cancels
a
out with
-1 for
So
the
it's-
acute
so
senses.
It's a 7.
A 7. Okay. So read those things. What do? You get to choose one.
So I hit them in the head, obviously.
Okay. So you want to give them a status?
I just want it to be known that I'm aiming for their head because I don't want to say I hit them and then you say, okay, you hit them in the chest and it glances off their scaled armor.
Okay.
So do I have to use
You
it
hit
on
them in
that?
the head, which has scales, and it glances off their head armor.
If you want to give them a status, you have to choose with go toe to toe. You have to choose get them good. Or if you're wanting to keep them from getting in the doorway, you can do block achieve your goal. Block the doorway so they can't get past you.
I just want everything to happen positively. I don't know why you're stopping me from that.
You did not roll a dynamite.
I know. If they get through the door, they're just going to wreck us all. I managed to achieve my goal.
Okay.
In blocking the doorway. But I
you-
still hit them.
No.
I do.
No.
I still hit them. I just don't get them good, and I don't get them in a specific area.
Okay. Sure. So you rush forward with your
Wait, so
tower
they don't
shield.
get a status?
No. With go toe to toe, you have to pick the get them good status.
Of course you pick that one.
You're competing against them for access to the door. So you rush forward, you throw your shield in front of you, you swing, and the crow woman like sees it coming and ducks, and you kind of clip their beak.
That's armored.
That is armored. So it clips the beak, and like some of it cracks, but nothing damaging. And then you wanted to achieve your goal, so you throw your shield in front of you, blocking entry into this room. But as you do, the crow woman like staggers back, and then the dog and I think the other one was a goat man like rush forward, and the goat man rears at you with the horns on his head, and the dog leaps and climbs over the shield and claws at you, not getting into the kitchen, but go ahead and roll a face danger.
From both of them?
Yeah. So here's how they're working. These 3 beast men have the same spectrum, so any statuses will go against all of them. They're basically one character. The hyena swine alligator character is a character by himself.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to use Tattoo Tower Shield. I'm going to say the risk taker is ongoing until the gamble is finished, or you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you're still risk taking.
It is.
You took a risk, okay,
and the risk is ongoing until it either fails or.
Okay.
I don't know. We can talk about that after.
No, keep going.
Okay, and
so you got Tower Shield, risk taker.
I'm gonna do till I collapse. I feel like it's fitting.
Sure, and you know what? Do you think doesn't know when to walk away would be appropriate in this instance?
Yes, it would be.
I mean, do you think it would?
Yeah, but
Okay.
I don't want it to, but it would.
Okay. So take a -1 to this roll and give yourself an attention in the. Is this your gambler theme?
Oh baby!
Does that theme
Boom.
roll up?
3 attention.
Boom. Now we get to pick a new thing for Bill. Okay, so go ahead and roll. What are you rolling with? +2?
+3.
But with a -1.
With a -1.
So +2.
+3 -1.
Oh my god, okay.
So it's 11
add
plus
3
3
to it.
14 -1 is 13.
-1 is 13. So 13. So the goat rams into your shield as the dog like plants his feet like I don't know, like on your arm. Maybe not necessarily, but they lean over and rake at your arm, and you just kind of wedge the shield. You like yank it up, pinning their neck against the door frame, and they're like, and they let out this howl, and then you let it drop back down, and they are still on the other side of your shield.
I've been fighting off dingoes since I was a baby.
Dingo's not eating this baby.
Ren runs and jumps onto Bill's shoulders. And then in the crevice of where the shield is not.
Okay, so the blank space in between the top of the shield and the door frame.
This is sexual harassment.
He starts shooting the animal things.
Okay, so
Was this real?
Yeah, this was real.
Why my shoulder?
Yeah,
That's how I understand.
it sounds like a good idea, but I don't get the why on the shoulders. You could just
Goes back to the first fight.
Well, I mean, I could see if I'm like up with the shield. I guess if he wanted to get over it, then he has to like.
Yeah, but so I figured like you jerked it up to like pin the dog's head underneath the door and then let it down and he fell back. and so like maybe you're crouching with it, and then Ren runs forward and like puts his gun over the rim of your
Yeah, but
shield.
he's like 5'4".
Oh yeah, you did say you were pretty short.
Wait, no, how tall are you?
I've always pictured Ren as kind of lanky and tall, but he did say he was like 5'4". Okay, so you're you're trying to shoot them over Bill's shield.
Over Bill's tower shield, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I guess this would be a hit 5 got. What do you think?
Yeah, that would definitely be.
That's what I thought it was.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not a go toe-to-toe or change the game or face stains or anything.
So
like
who are you targeting?
I mean, I was targeting the closest person, either the dog or the. I was gonna say crow, but it was not a crow.
The goat.
Okay. So there's a crow woman, a goat man, and a dog man,
Yeah.
and they're all like right there in front of Bill, trying to get into the kitchen.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna go. I'm just going to aim in the general direction, just because I'll be using immobilizing energy, and the energy spread shot, and so it's just going to be a very cone shape spread shot, and so it'll it could. So I can aim for a specific person or just all of them.
Okay. I will remind you, since we haven't had a lot of combats this season, I think this might be our second one, that you cannot repeat moves with the same tags. But I think it works because some time has passed since you took that shot on Nick. So I think it is okay for you to do immobilizing energy and spread shot for this one.
Yeah.
But so yeah, go ahead and roll +2. Do you have anything to add?
And then they have their -1 for the alert, so +2 or only +2.
Good.
So that's a 10.
10. Okay, on a hit with all you've got, on a 10 plus, you hit with tier plus power, so you're hitting them with a tier 2 status. Mm-hmm. And then what options do you want to choose?
Did you say that they share the same?
Yes.
So like if you were to get many of them, it would be less effective than getting them good?
It would be a +1 to them. So that's just semantics. Like I either hit you good or I hit many of them. But since this is one character, it's the same.
Thing. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll get them good, and then I'll take a secure position.
Okay. All right. So you run forward just as Bill lowers his shield. You shove the barrel of your futuristic gun out over his shield. You squeeze off a shot. This blue energy cones out, hitting all 3 of these creatures. They all falter back for a second, and then they snarl and rush forward just as you duck back behind Bill's shield, and you see Bill like straining against the weight as these 3 beasts are like clawing and beating at his shield, trying to force their way into the kitchen.
I have an idea, but it's a little crazy. This is over the comms, by the way. I don't know why I had to turn to you to say that.
Thank you.
All right, what is it?
What if we push them all into the portal?
Yeah, let's do it.
Remember, beastmen are beating on your shield. As you have
somebody
this
kind of has to get behind them to open it up. I guess I could open it behind me and like let them through. And
If they're already leaning against your shield, if you open it and then fall back.
True. There's a chance.
Physics.
Just fall
There's
back.
a chance that they push me through with them, but
Oh, vines. She sends one out and like wraps it around Bill's leg.
oh god.
We know that what happened last time when you sent vines through the portal.
No, as in I can pull him out.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like pull him out of the way.
Are you wanting to change the game or use one of your help points on Bill?
Ooh, help point.
Ba-ba-da-da.
How many help points do you have on Bill?
Probably so many.
Just one.
Just one?
Yeah.
So you could spend that help point to give him like a get out of the way status. So whenever he does all this, you can yank him back.
Yes.
A vine bursts through the bay window in the dining room, slinks past Nick as he like coils as this like vine just shoots out, slithers down the kitchen, and Bill, it's unsettling, but you were expecting it. It wraps around your ankle like up to your mid-thigh, and it just constricts against your leg. People are really taking advantage of Bill this episode, just jumping on his shoulders, grabbing his thigh.
Could at least buy me dinner first. Come on. All right.
Okay. And Faye, as you do that, Nick like sniffs and like turns towards the bay window.
Ren jumps out of the way and is now on top of the counter with Esther.
Okay. And Esther, what are you doing while all this is happening?
Looking at Ren, contemplating pushing him off the counter.
Okay.
Into the
But-
portal.
I just move over. And
Okay.
I
You just move over?
And I'm looking at Faye. And
Who has the domino?
I have it.
Oh, okay.
But like they've already gone, so I went and then they went and I had to face danger, so I can go again, right?
Yeah. It's not really like.
I know.
turn
I know it's not
order.
initiative based,
Yeah. But like we try to like pass it around to everybody before we go again.
Right.
Yeah. Faye, through the like blinds and curtains, you don't see what like he's looking at or sniffing at.
Great. I'm just gonna stay alert.
Okay.
But I'm also, okay, I mean, not that alert, I guess I should say, because I've got a little bit of divided attention here, because I've got Nick and a dead body. Whatever he's looking out the window, I'm trying to pay attention to Bill so I can pull him out of the way in time.
Yes, you are.
So,
So which are you focusing on?
Oh.
what I want to do and what I think my character would do are two very different things. So that is the internal debate going on in my brain.
Sorry for that long pause. I'll most likely edit that out.
Thank you.
No.
Leave it in.
Okay, Faye's attention is on Bill because of the help point. It's on Bill.
Okay. Bill, what are you doing?
I'm staring out the window. No, I'm just kidding. Just
Yeah.
looking over my shoulder. Just-
Yeah.
So at this point, I have one arm with the tower shield up, and I'm like checking my pockets for the dominoes, and then I realized that it was dry cleaned, so it's in the cart. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that. I mean, narratively, I could do that, but it'd be a jerk move. No. So I'm like reaching, like patting my, the pocket pat, and I'm not finding it in my jean pockets, so I'm freaking out a little bit. But then I found it.
Jean jacket pocket.
It's in my vest pocket. So I pull it out. I look at it, and then like I swipe my thumb up.
Okay. So you slide your thumb up across the insignia of the Cabal, and it starts to glow. And all of a sudden, we hear this thunderclap behind, or that fills this entire house. You kind of all have to cover your ears. And as you do, a portal opens up behind Bill. The swirling mist and tendrils of it kind of drift out lazily, almost like coiling fingers eager to grab something and pull it in. But it opens up behind Bill. Bill, what do you do?
Drop. Just
Okay, actually, roll
pull out the chair,
roll
like
a
a
change the
post-defender.
game. Roll a change the game to like make this, and then we'll have to figure out a roll to like do it.
okay.
So 0.
Oh. It's very successful. I rolled a 9.
9. So on change the game, you get 1 juice, and you can create a store tag, burn a power tag or store tag, or give or reduce a status. So I assume you want to create a store tag of like
Portal 1.
portal trap.
Portal trap. Da-na-na, da-na-na.
Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
Exclamation mark.
Okay, so portal trap +1, or a story tag of 1. It's not +1.
Nope,
And
nope,
then-
you already said it.
I mean, it doesn't make it. It's just not how the mechanics work. What move do you think it would be to like do this?
I was waiting for you to ask. So,
I was waiting for you to ask that question.
so as Tessa's vines like broke through the window, a slight breeze drifted in, and I was reminded of the fact that I have an ability to float like a butterfly, right? To like move very rapidly and quicker. So like I could just tumble out of the way, or through the combined efforts of Tessa yanking me and me using the wind to push me, I could like just zoom like out
Okay.
to give them no time to recover. So I wanted to do a combination of that and then creating with my now free arm after sliding the thing like a hook to like slide and pull at the same time. Now this could go very poorly,
Okay,
but
so
it's crazy enough to work.
Okay, so you're gonna add your float like a butterfly, Your tattoo manipulation.
Yes. So I want. Okay. So for this to make sense, I want it to manipulate off of my tower shield a hook.
Okay. So are you wanting to add your tower shield to this as well?
No, not the tower shield.
Okay.
It's going to be the hook off of the so I got the tower shield and I'm pressed against this.
Oh, and
this
you're
dude.
just going to create a new.
I'm just going to create like a
hook off of it.
protuberance off of it. It doesn't even have to go all the way around, but just so that whenever I'm pulled back, they're pulled as well. You know what I mean?
Oh, you're wanting to hook them and pull them in.
Yeah. So I'm
okay.
getting pulled.
I thought you were saying like to hook around like a nook so you don't like go flying
no.
away or something.
So like I'm getting pulled to the
okay.
right, and if I do it at a hook at an angle, then
Yeah.
it just pushes them
Sure.
straight into the.
Okay, so you want to hook them and pull them in. So we know what tags you're going to roll with, but my question still remains: what move is this? Is this a hit with all you've got? Is this a take the risk? Is this a?
I think it's a take the risk.
Is this a go toe to toe? Take the risk.
I think it's a take the risk.
Perform a daring, risky, or outright stupid feat. I would agree with that.
Because if it fails, I end up in the portal with 3 enemies, and I have the domino with me.
Yeah. Okay.
So maybe I should have thrown that, but it's too late now.
Okay. So go ahead.
Don't forget my +1 for
Yeah.
the help
So
point.
you have a +1.
So +1, tattoo manipulation.
And I'll say that
Float like a butterfly.
you could add their limping status for Rin. It'll be harder for them to get out of the way.
They have a +4.
And then a -1 for their acute senses.
All right,
Yeah. So roll with a
plus-
+3. Take the risk with +3.
a 13.
A 13. Okay.
These dice are good luck.
If your move is a dynamite on a 12+, you pull it off spectacularly and even turn the situation to your advantage. Take 2 juice and you can use it to choose effect improvements from Change the Game. So, on a 10+, you somehow perform a daring feat without any glitches or flaws.
I think prolonging it would make sense. So, like, if there's a chance that they would get out sooner than later and become a nuisance, doubling that time, I don't know.
Okay, so really trapping them in there.
Yeah, like I don't know how that works though, because they could have an intimate knowledge of the portal and have a way out themselves. You know what I mean? But maybe they can't return to my location, to our location immediately. You know what I mean?
So there's 3 of them.
Right.
Do you think? I think it would be more realistic for you to say like you throw one of them in, because you're not making like a bulldozer and like pushing them all in.
Spectacular.
I mean, yes, you did.
But yeah, that would be lame for you. So let's say I got one of them for sure. One of them is part of the way in. Like one of them is gone for sure. One is like part of the way in, and his partner's like holding him, trying to pull him out, and that's kind of where they're stuck.
I like that. Okay, so you create that hook. You hook around. Which one do you want to pull in?
I think the dog would have been the closest one.
Okay, so you hook the dog, and as you jump back, the breeze like catches, like almost like lifting you up by the arms, and you jump back. And Tessa or Faye, right at that moment, you pull with the vine, slinging him back at a rapid pace through the kitchen. And as you go, you like let go of the hook, and the dog just goes into the portal with a howl. The crow stumbles forward and like falls in, and then digging its talons into the linoleum like it catches itself, and we'll even say like it grabs onto the goat's horns and like pulls it down, so the goat is like on its knees right as this portal is still swirling with the crow halfway through it, still holding on to the goat's horns. So Esther and Rin.
Well, okay, because that feels like I'm doing the same move over and over when I just shoot.
Oh,
So, like, I mean, the 2 times that I've shot were separate from each other, so I feel like that's okay. But I don't know that I could shoot again.
I'd say enough time has passed for you to shoot again.
I'm not saying that that's... I'm just... Like, I'm not trying to make it complicated. I'm not trying to argue. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to think of other ways I can contribute, but, like...
Yeah.
That's mine.
Esther and Ren don't shoot. They just hit the crow with the butt of their guns.
I
Well,
leap forward and I bang him with...
So last time you used your revolver and your daddy's fighter. This time you could just use your revolver or revolver and something else.
So it's not. It's so like you can use.
So he's
the
halfway in the
revolver.
portal. So maybe I'm trying to shoot the other one so that they let go and that one just falls in.
Sure.
Because if we have that one
Well,
injured, then
It's not that the goat man is holding on. It actually looks like the goat man doesn't care. But the crow like grabbed onto his horn and like yanked him down to the ground with her. And so it's holding on to the goat, and the goat is like trying to stand up under the weight of the crow. Under the weight of the crow
That's for
person
you.
being pulled in.
so I'm wanting to shoot in such a way that the crow is not able to grip on to the horn anymore. So I guess I'm shooting at the crow's hand.
Sure.
And I'll use my Colt Cobra.
So is this I think this would be a go toe to toe, because you're trying to struggle for control against the crow.
Okay. My injured status.
Nah. So rolling with a +1. Oh man. So what's that?
5.
Okay. So you shoot, and as you do, like your gun like jams, and you're like, oh damn, and then you like open the chamber to like clear the jam, and as you do, like,
It goes off.
well, no, that would have been awful. But the goat like doesn't lift the crow up out, but it sees you trying to shoot, and so it kicks out with its hoof and like tries to strike you. So roll a face danger.
I'm going to use Daddy's Fighter because, like, even though I'm having these issues, I still have experience with fighting. And so, like, I'm prepared to, not prepared, but, like, I'm still paying attention to my surroundings.
Okay. So the +1, do you think your physical statuses would apply to this?
Probably.
Okay. So a -2.
Good. I think I died. Dice are not with Esther ever.
So
In case anybody was wondering.
I think it got worse in season 2.
yeah. So the
End of season 1 started my streak of bad.
the goat kicks out, and you don't see the kick coming as you're clearing the chamber, and the kick hits you full force in the chest, and it like sends you back crashing into the cabinet, shattering them, and you slump down onto the counter. You take a injured 2 status. So step it up by 2, not 2 numbers, 2 ticks. So everybody, like, as the goat kicks her, you hear like this crack as it's not just from the cabinet.
Oh my god.
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh my
Creed 2.
gosh, from
You need
Creed
to see
2.
the movie.
And so she's like flung into the cabinets and then slumps down in the dining nook. Suddenly, the windows explode, and these 2 huge, massive reptilian arms reach through and grab Nick.
No.
And fling him, he goes with a roar that is also a scream, and is just pulled out into the night. He's cradling Marcus's body.
I go after him.
Okay, do you want to go toe-to-toe to, like, get him, or are you just jumping out into the night?
Is he close enough that I can go toe to toe?
I mean, the dining room is, like, 10 feet in diameter.
Cool. I didn't know like if they were like down the street.
Like 2 feet by 5 feet? Or. Sorry.
Or if this was just like
Friends? I don't know. Radius? I don't know. Whatever. I mean, it's happening right next to you because you were, like, right up against Nick. And so, like, these arms just pop out of the windows, grab him, and pull him into the backyard.
cool. Yes, I want to go toe to toe. Okay, so you said like it was kind of overgrown in the front yard?
The backyard. But yes.
The
it
dining room is
is in the backyard, yeah.
oh, it was definitely picturing.
Because as you were like in the kitchen, you saw Bill and Ren like running around that way to get to the front.
Okay. So backyard, does backyard have a tree?
Sure.
Great. I want to will the tree to like fall on the back of the monster and like pin him down.
Okay.
I see what she's doing, and I will use my dynamic duo juice that I just created. Can I use
Okay.
that and like get rid of it to give her a +1 on what she's doing?
How?
I would see what's happening outside and wind bend to help pull the tree down.
Okay. Sure. I'll allow that. So you are using your powers in a lot of ways that haven't been used before.
We're getting creative.
So you use your dynamic duo, like you said, you burn that juice and like you pull with the air like circling around the trunk, trying to like almost like when you twist a stick and like it splinters. So you're creating this cyclone around it. Buffet, I'll go ahead and roll. I guess this is still go toe to toe, or would this
Could do
be?
take the risk.
I don't think it would be take the risk. I think it would be
Change the game.
yeah, maybe change the game to create a story tag to hit him
A
with.
fallen tree.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm just gonna use my.
and I would say that you could burn your tag to like automatically do it, or you could roll to see if you can.
No, I want to roll because I have his +1,
Okay, you got +1,
and then I have mine, which is just +1.
and then a -1 for his acute senses.
Gosh, I hate everything. Okay, +1. 12. Boom, baby.
So statistically speaking, we're making up for your rolls, Carrie. We're just
Sorry, Carrie.
So on a change the game dynamite, you get a minimum of 3 juice,
Great.
and you can activate one of those things from the dynamite list. The dynamite list is large scale effect, scale up a single effect to a large scale or make it affect a large group, a permanent effect,
love the ellipses.
or a missed hidden effect. Or you could just use your 3 juice to select options from the regular list.
Okay. So I want to create a story tag of fallen tree.
Okay.
No, I don't. I want to create a story tag of pinned.
That would be
Monster?
so. A story tag is like what something is. So a tree is a story tag. Shattered is a status. If it's an adjective, it's probably a status.
Okay, so I just want to give a status.
Okay, so I would say give a status, 1 point per juice. So you want to give him a pinned status.
Like a pinned 2, would that be?
Well, she has 3 juice.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to give him a pinned 2 status. Okay, well, tell me. So what I want to prolong the effect so that he stays pinned. But would that be more effective with a pinned 3? Or would it be more effective with a pinned 2 and a prolong the effect?
He would have to do something to break out of it, but like if he can't break out of it, it's going to keep him there. It's not going to go away naturally or something. But he would still be able to try to break out of it.
But he would have to roll higher if it was
Yeah.
a pin 3 versus a pin 2 or pin 1.
Yeah.
Pinned 3 then?
That boy
Okay. Pin 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so you create a pin 3 status. So, Faye, you focus on this tree, like undoing the threads on a blanket. You're pulling up the roots individually, and then you feel Bill cyclone around, and as it does, it twists the tree and shatters it, and then you command the tree down. The tree falls on this hyena, swine, alligator just as it's pulled Nick out and raises up its claws to rake across his body. The tree slams into his back, forces him to the ground, and then he like tries to get up, but then the roots like dig into the ground. The branches like bury underneath him, kind of creating like trapping him underneath this tree trunk and branches and the ground. He is stuck there and snarling, trying to push himself up. Hello, friends, and welcome to the mid-roll of episode 43 of Mistconceptions. I'm your host, David White. And guys, this is blowing my mind right now, but March 2nd, this Saturday, is our 2-year anniversary. We have been making this podcast for 2 years, and I just want to take a minute to thank all of those that have been listening since the beginning. Thank you so much for supporting us for these 2 years. And to everybody who is new and has found this show, thank you. Thank you for finding the show. And I think I speak for everybody, the whole crew, when I say that we hope you get as much out of this podcast as you give us. And kind of to explain that, because that sounds a little weird, but knowing that people watch, or knowing that people listen to this show, listen to this nerdy thing we do, is so exciting to us. It thrills us whenever we see people talking about the show, chatting with us on Facebook. Just to know that people enjoy this thing that we do is awesome. So thank you so much, new listeners and old listeners alike, and happy anniversary. And if you remember, last year, we had a pretty big announcement that we revealed. We revealed our partnership with City of Mist, and we revealed our new character art done by the official City of Mist artist, Martian. That was super exciting. We also revealed our Patreon, I guess. That was whenever we did that. And now look at us, $300 in, 2 goals funded, and in the spirit of unveiling new and fascinating and cool things for the podcast on our anniversary, we have a pretty big announcement to make. But I'm not going to make it today. I will release a separate thing. Thing is such a bad word. I will release a separate recording. I don't want to say episode. It's not really an episode, but I will release an extra recording on Saturday to reveal our big announcement. I hope you are excited. I am super excited about it. But yeah, keep your ears peeled for that. Coming out this Saturday. And hey guys, you know City of Mist. You love it. We play it here. That's probably why you listen to the show, if nothing else. But City of Mist has only 50 of the original starter sets left in its store. And the starter set, if you don't know what that is, the starter set, it has that very thin starter set rules. It's not super in-depth or anything, but it gives you basically what you need to start playing. And really the awesome part of the starter set is the character folios, the character sheets for the 7 iconic City of Mist heroes, like Excalibur, Postmortem, Kitsune, those awesome characters, beautifully detailed by the artist Martian. It looks like a freaking poster on one side, and then on the other side it has their character cards and stuff. But anyways, there's only 50 of those left, less than 50 of those left in the City of Mist store. If you've listened this far in City of Mist and you don't have a starter set, or at the very least you don't have the core rulebook, you should definitely go grab one of these starter sets before they're all gone. So head right on over to cityofmist.com right after you listen to this episode and grab you one of those beautiful starter sets. And one last thing before we go, remember at the beginning of this year, in January, I revealed some goals I had for the podcast. One of them was getting to $300 a month on Patreon, and we did that, and that is super awesome. And if I may be so bold, I would like to add a new goal for the show, and that goal is getting 30 reviews on iTunes. Right now we have 21, and really I just picked 30 because, you know, it's a pretty close number, and it's an even number. And I like even numbers. It makes me feel good. But the reason I'm focusing so much on iTunes and getting reviews on iTunes is that's the biggest platform for podcasts. That's where most of our listeners and listeners of other shows listen to podcasts. And getting more reviews on iTunes, it doesn't make us more visible necessarily, but it does make us more appealing. Like people see that, oh, a lot of people listen to the show and they have favorable things to say about it. It's a well-rated podcast. Maybe I should check it out too. So you all know we have a Patreon. You know we are wholly supported on this show by our friends at Patreon and their wonderful, generous donations. If you want to support the show but you don't have the money to do that, we totally understand that. That is nothing to be ashamed about. We love your monetary support, but we also just love that you listen to the show. If you want to support us in a non-monetary way, go leave us a rating and review on iTunes. And if you leave us a review, like you actually tap out a little nice paragraph saying how great we are, you get a shout out on this podcast. So that's my goal for the year. 30 reviews on iTunes. Let's make it happen. I believe in you. You can do it. Hugs and kisses. We don't have any new Patreon or iTunes shout-outs this week, but I did just want to take a second to say thank you to everyone who has given on Patreon, and thank you to everyone who has given us a rating and review on iTunes. Your words mean a lot. Your support means a lot. And you know, those of you that haven't done either of those things yet, thanks for listening. We're glad that you're here, and I hope you're having a great week. And if it's kind of a sucky week, because, I mean, everybody has those, I hope that this podcast makes you feel a little better because you deserve it. You're an awesome person. Don't let anybody tell you you're not. But anyways, let's get back to the show. He will go ahead and let out this roar that shakes the house, and the goat and crow woman like seem invigorated by this roar, and the goat like rears its head up, jerking the crow woman out of the portal, and then they both stand there, and they don't seem to be limping as much as they were.
The portal's still open?
The portal is still open. What's everybody doing?
Were you about to go, Bill?
Well, I was gonna ask David a question, but it would be more play. It'd be like metagaming. I'm curious if they're missing 1/3 of themselves as a single entity.
So whenever there's more of them, their spectrums are stepped up and their moves are stepped up.
Okay.
So now that there's only 2 of them, it's not as much.
Okay.
And their acute senses, their acute senses, their acute one is a status, and you can burn statuses or reduce statuses, like with Change the Game. If you came up with a way that would be like, they're not as acute anymore, you could like do that.
I punched them right in the inner ear.
So what do you do?
Esther's up on the counter, and I don't know if I have it all pictured right, but the way I picture it is that there's this like long counter that slays the like length or width or whatever of the kitchen. And so I was at the edge close to the door, and once I was hit, like I fell back. I'm assuming there's like a sink kind of in the middle. So I'm sliding past the sink, not very fast because moving hurts. But I'm wanting to get like into like the corner, the furthest corner on the counter, just like locking back into that corner.
So the opposite corner that you were in,
Yes.
and far away from the goat and crow.
Yes. Just trying to get to that spot to be able to like hunker down and stay.
So you're just wanting to get over there?
I don't want to die.
Why don't you roll a change the game to like give yourself like a safe space status,
Okay.
or like a guarded status or something like that.
Can I use life lessons?
Okay, life lessons. So change the game with +1.
Minus.
You have -4.
So -3. Right?
Yeah, because you're trying to scramble away from them. So I would say like you're like limping, wheezing because something just kicked you in the chest.
Would
full
you like
force.
to activate your weakness tags, Carrie?
I got a 1.
Okay, so you
I try to scramble back and I actually fall off of the counter.
I was gonna say like you try to pull yourself, wheezing and beaten as you are. You fall onto the ground, and like your boot, one leg like falls into the portal. So like your knee is bent, and one of your feet is like dangling in the portal. You are on the other side of the portal from the Beastmen, but they definitely see
I was going to end
you.
up in this portal with them.
Well, now I can't close it.
Yeah.
Just cut off my leg. I'll be one-legged Esther for the rest of the
And
game.
they like are snarling at you because even though the portal's in between you, it's only like 5 feet wide maybe. It's taking up a large amount of this space.
Who's closest to Esther?
I would say Rin, I guess. Rin, where
Rin's
are
the
you?
only one left in there, isn't he?
Yeah, because Bill and
I'm still
Faye
inside.
are in the dining nook. Yeah, y'all didn't jump out. Y'all did all of that inside the dining nook.
Yeah.
Rin, where are you? Where did you...
I'm on top of the counter.
Oh, yeah, so they, like, just kicked Esther into the wall beside you, and you're like, ah! It all happened right next to you.
I thought he had jumped back down.
No.
I thought he was
Nope, still
What
on
do you
top
do?
of the counter. Well, I was gonna change the game and get rid of their alert, but I guess I need to do something to make sure you don't end up in the portal. So I'm gonna shoot at these guys with my energy spread shot and my scanner vision.
Why scanner vision?
So that I avoid shooting Esther.
Okay.
Because Esther is very close to them.
Yes.
I had a 12.
A 12? Okay.
Well, 14.
So, we should have clarified what role this was. So, what move do you think this was?
Oh, yeah, I should have clarified that. I apologize. Face danger? No, it's not to avoid a hit. It's
No.
Either go toe to toe. Go toe to toe.
Toe to hoe.
Go toe to hoe.
Call me a hoe.
Yep. Toe to hoe.
I
hit
think it would be
probably
go toe to toe because you're trying to keep them from getting to Esther.
Yeah.
So this is a go toe to toe. It is, what'd you roll?
14.
A 14, so it is a 12 plus. Good granny gracious.
I achieve my goal. I get them good. Tier equals power. And then I block, dodge, or counter their best attempts.
Okay, so you level the barrel of your gun at them. The depth perception of your one scanner vision almost throws you off, but you correct at the last second. Squeeze off this shot, firing into them. They howl and scream and like skitter backwards away from the portal, almost back into the living room, but they don't get closer to Esther. And since they skittered away from you, they do not lash back out at you.
Yeah, and then I also give them a status, I guess. So, jackpot.
So I'll step that up by one. What do you want to name your status?
Piercing.
Okay.
Why are you shaking your head?
Because your statuses have to do with what you do to them. And you did not pierce them. But anyways,
Yep.
you pierce them, and they run away. What's everybody else doing?
So Faye sees Esther almost fall in the portal and completely freaks out. And so she runs, not paying any attention as Ren is like doing all the spraying stuff, grabs Esther. Let me get through this whole thing and then you tell me if this is plausible at all.
Okay.
Grabs Esther, starts running, tells everybody to get out, including Nick, and then burns her reduced to nature tag and crumples the building and like buries all of the monsters.
I think
Like take like the overgrown stuff. Bury isn't the right word, but like,
Like use it to pull the house down.
yeah.
Okay, so you grab Esther and you start running towards the window and you like you shove Esther through and she gets cut and dies. You shove her through and like you jump out after her. But Bill and Ren, what do you do? She shouts out like,
Bill, Ren, Nick, everybody get out of here. Go.
okay. Esther and Ren, what are you doing? Esther and Ren, God. Bill and Ren.
I'm debating on whether I should close the portal or not. It's between us and them. So I
leave it open?
you leave it open and jump out.
Okay, you jump out. Ren, what about you?
Yep, I jump out. I jump onto Bill's shoulders and I jump out.
Okay, so a couple of things happen. So the crow like flaps its wings and goes over the chasm of portal and starts rushing for the window. And the goat like kind of leaps up on the counter and starts running. Faye, through the window, you can see them running towards you. Behind you, hear a snarling sound and like wood breaking as the creature is starting to stand up. What do you do? Do you focus on the beasts or do you focus on the alligator breaking the tree?
Nick got out too, right?
Yeah, Nick
'Cause I
was
yelled
pulled
at
out.
him. Okay, good.
He was already out.
Okay, great. I trust that my crew has my back, and I focus on the beasts.
Okay, you're going to burn a tag and reduce to nature?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and describe what happens to this house.
So since the house had been kind of abandoned and everything was overgrown, I basically just like give the earth permission to continue to overgrow. And so Faye kind of backs up, and you can tell it's like taking a lot out of her. And the tree that was on top of that guy like extends over, and then the grasses and bushes all around like kind of completely cover, and the house just crumbles and squishes the monsters.
I would say, which move are you wanting to do? Because the way you burn a tag is you burn it, and then you succeed at a roll as if you had rolled with a +3. I would say you could do this. So change the game, and you give a status. So like you give a trapped in the rubble 3 status to the 2 creatures inside.
Okay, I was debating between that or a hit with all you've got. But I think they'd have the same end. So yes.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so it comes up over, and you see like the crow woman as she's pulling herself through the window. The bay window like collapses around her. The shards of glass like stick into her sides. She lets out this horrible squawk as the house is like somebody taking a handful of aluminum foil and like squishing it together. It's just compacted, and the crow woman is like crushed and crumpled as vines like crawl over her and like push her back up against it, almost like a bale machine. And then inside you hear this horrible bleeding noise as the goat man is trapped inside as well, and this building is just crushed beneath it. The creature behind you finally manages to push itself up, shattering the pinned thing or the tree, and it like comes out flexing, its tail swishing every which way. It snarls and looks at the 4 of you. End of episode. All right, friends, thank you for listening to this week's episode of Mistconceptions. We will be back with episode 44 on March 11th. And don't forget to tune in this Saturday, March the 2nd, to hear and find out what our special 2-year anniversary announcement is going to be. If you have social media, find us on Facebook and Twitter. You can chat with us there, follow us there, retweet us there. Just have fun with us there. Why don't you go do that? We also have a Gmail. If you want to email us anything, you can find our Gmail at mistconceptionspod@gmail.com. Of course, we are wholly supported by our wonderful patrons on Patreon. If you want to support us monetarily, please consider giving on Patreon and receiving any one of those great rewards that you get for your pledge amount. City of Mist is an RPG created by Son of Oak. You can find more of their products, like the final 50 starter sets, on sonofoak.com. The Misconceptions theme was composed by Aaron Wharton, and you can find more of his wonderful music at aaronwharton.net. That is all for this week's episode of Misconceptions. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a great week, and don't forget, keep it nerdy, y'all.